Okay, in this video I'll be showing you how to unwrap inside of Blender version 2.76. First thing you want to do is create another view, so hover your mouse over this icon, left click, hold, drag, and create a new window. We don't want this to be a 3D view, so we're going to change it by clicking on this icon to UV Image Editor. Now, let's make sure that we are in edit mode. Click on edit mode, and that will automatically select your entire model. Then, under these options, we want to select Shading UVs. And as you can see, we have UV mapping options, and there's a whole bunch of different options that you can choose from. Now, the main ones you're going to be using is Unwrap, would probably be the number one you'll be using, which will pretty much unwrap the model once you've added seams. And then the other common ones for especially objects as simple as this one would be cube projection. You guys can look over those in your own time, because this video is mainly about the basics of unwrapping. Okay, so I mentioned seams before. What are seams? Seams are cuts along the model which enables Blender to unfold it onto a 2D image. So we can't paint onto this model until we've actually flattened it out onto a UVW map. So what do we have to do? First, you have to select the edges that you want to be seams. Seams are edges, not faces and not vertices. They are edges. So first you want to select the edges that you want to be seams, and you can select more than one edge at a time by holding down the Shift key on the keyboard. So I'm going to select all of those and then go over to this option and click on Mark Seam, and that will mark the seam, and you see it will go red, which indicates that there is a seam there. Then by pressing A on the keyboard, I will select the entire model, and then I'll click on Unwrap. And notice how it's now unwrapped that cube. It's unfolded it so it can actually be textured now. So that is how you actually unwrap the model. At least that is the very basics of unwrapping. If you do make a mistake with your seams, you can go ahead and click on Clear Seam, and that will remove all the seams of your selection. So if you only want to remove this seam, just click on that and click on Clear Seam, and it will only clear that seam. If your UVs are not showing up in this view, it's because you haven't selected your entire model like I have now. So that's why if that's happened to you, that's the reason why. At the moment we do have an unwrap, but we don't actually have an image, or we don't have a UVW to export and paint on. So the first thing we have to do is we have to create a new image for this UVW to be on. So let's go ahead and click on New and call it whatever you want. Set your width and height, remember in power of 2. So the next one up is 2048, and you can leave, we don't necessarily need an alpha, but you can uncheck that. Generated type, you can leave it to blank, and you can click on OK. There is our UV image. So we haven't actually saved this yet, so make sure you click on UVs, export UV layout, and save it wherever you want to, and call it whatever you want. Click on export UV layout, and before I export, you can also change the format by heading to this area, and well, it appears that PNG seems to be the main one. I'm thinking of Photoshop, where you have a lot more options with the format. Anyway, click on export UV layout, and if everything went according to plan, you have your UVs now, which you can take into a painting software. So those are the basics of unwrapping inside of Blender. I hope you have found this helpful. Goodbye.